Pradip Chanda is a well-known business transformation management expert. This is his first novel. His earlier books on turnaround management have received international acclaim. He continues to live and write as a citizen of the world, traveling frequently and spending time with his family and grandchildren between Singapore, the Netherlands, and the US. His published book, C'est la vie, is a fascinating memoir of two people who set off on a journey through life, live beyond the narrow confines of prevalent norms. They defy all odds and give meaning to the Bard's words, "Age cannot wither, nor custom stale." Pradip is our special guest today to deepen this interesting title, published in collaboration with Eurobox. Hi Pradip, welcome to Conoscere TV and thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for inviting me, Ginevra, and I'm delighted to be with you today.
So, your book recounts many personal anecdotes and memoirs from your life, particularly focusing on your relationship with your wife, Preeti. How did revisiting these moments for the book shape or shift your perspective on your shared experiences?
Well, actually, when we met first, we hadn't really sort of fallen in love with each other. It wasn't love at first sight. But then we lived together, we got married, we had children, and we had a good life. But suddenly, she was diagnosed with terminal illness, cancer. And when she asked me to write something about her so that her grandchildren can get a feel as to what their grandmother would be, I promised to do that and started soon after that. But then the book was put away, the manuscript was put away, and my granddaughter, who was 11 months old when my wife passed, found the manuscript and goaded me on to finish it, which is what I did, and published it this year. So it has been lying on the shelf for a very long time indeed.
This is a wonderful background story, Pradip. Throughout the narrative, there is also a rich infusion of humor, even in more challenging or emotional moments. So how do you see the role of humor in dealing with life's ups and downs, and how did it influence your storytelling?
I think humor is the only thing that helps you go through life. If you do not have humor, if you're serious all the time, then life is a chore. It becomes very boring. So I think for me, it comes automatically. I see the humorous side of everything. And I'd like to share that.
Also, in your book, you explore various cultural and social contexts, especially during your time living in different cities and countries. How did your interactions with this different environment shape your outlook on relationships and life? How did they find expression in the book?
Well, it changed my life dramatically. Not only mine, my wife's also. Because we came from a country which was still very, very conservative. So much so that when, even living together as in your mid-20s was frowned upon. So our first trip abroad together was to the UK. And we lived in England. And it was very different because my company was paying for it. So I got a house in a locality which was fairly upmarket. Not fairly, very upmarket. And we had neighbors, very snooty. And unfortunately, I bought a car for my wife, a Fiat 500, which was very noisy, which didn't make us very popular. And all that happened in the first 6 weeks or so when Christmas came around. So I told Preeti, my wife, that let's go get some boxes of chocolates and call on our neighbors. So we walked across and went and rang the bell, and the lady opened the door and frowned and said, "Yes, what can I do for you?" So I said, "Merry Christmas. We are your neighbors, and we thought we'll come and wish you Merry Christmas." And she sort of frowned at us. And then she smiled and said, "You must come in." I said, "No, I'm sorry. You must have other things to do." She said, "Yes, my daughter, brother, and my son-in-law are coming over, but I'd like you to stop by, have a drink, and meet them." So I figured that the only way to get to know people, if they are reserved, it's not probably if they don't know how to break the ice, then we should make the attempt. So we did that wherever we went. And as you know, as I've written in my book, I've lived in we traveled in 4 continents, lived in many countries. I lived through 5 generations I've recounted stories of 5 generations of my family. And I've always been very lucky with people. Again, I mentioned that many times, that I've been extremely lucky. For some reason or the other, someone, sometime, would come and help me out and take me to new horizons, open up new vistas. For example, my love for traveling started way back when I was I hadn't even passed school. And there's one of the teachers took a lot of time to talk to me about various parts of the world, various civilizations, the things people do, games people play, and that whetted my appetite. And when I grew up, and later on in life, when I could afford it, I wanted to go and experience those things myself, which is what we did.
Well, this is a positive message and a wonderful message that your words, but also your book, do share. So, Pradip, thank you again for your words, for your time, and we want to wish you best luck with your book.
Thank you very much again, and I hope as you know, the book has just got an award, and that may actually make it more famous. Yes, is that the right word?
Yes, it is. We'll try. We'll try to do our best. Thank you, Pradip.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
C'est la vie by Pradip Chanda is now available in bookstores and digital platforms, a publication by Eurobooks.